Sunga liked to sing, he liked to play the guitar, he liked to dance, he liked to play tennis, Sunga did everything. He was an all-around sportsman. He loved basketball. Sunga was actually at home in Philadelphia, and he called me and he said, "Mom, are you okay? I just had a bad dream. And I wanted to know if you were all right." And so I told him that I was fine, that I had just dropped off my husband and I was on my way back to the house. When I got back to the house, I asked him what was his dream about, and he said he had dreamed that he had gotten killed.
Hey, welcome back to Dom Time. Thanks for joining us tonight in studio with me. That, of course, is a mom from Mothers of No Tomorrow, is the director and producer and the guy who put all this together. Six King joins us. Six, thanks for joining us.
How are you?
And also Cheryl Say, who is one of the moms in this whole story, and she was telling us her story of, the son is at home. This isn't the usual circumstance we read about in some bar or something after midnight, whatever, on Easter Sunday.
Right.
We have coming up the anniversary of Trayvon Martin and the stuff that happened in Florida. And Cheryl used a good word around this. The chaos that seems to be out there, that there's no boundary when these two kids allegedly came and killed her son over some dispute that maybe tomorrow they even forget about.
Right.
So what do you think is fueling that kind of chaos? What's driving this? We even have Louis Farrakhan out there now trying to intervene in this in Chicago.
People are not taking personal responsibility for their own actions. And in the African-American community, like I've always said, that we used to take personal responsibility for our actions. It was called doing the right thing. And we've lost our way in that. We've lost our, the pulse of having
but
that.
let me challenge that, though. But you haven't. Cheryl, just the time I met her tonight, certainly had it. And from what I can tell, her son shot on the step had not. So I don't know that it's, my theory as an outsider of this, and you two can tell me if you think I'm correct, is it's just you have a significant minority of people that are out of control. But there's enough of them that it creates this type of level of violence.
Absolutely, this havoc, and again, what the African American community is suffering from is Stockholm syndrome, and that's when your captors have held you so long that you begin to have empathy and complacency. So the majority of the people in the community who would be outraged. You saw it in the Trayvon Martin case, where the African American community was outraged, and you saw them the way they were able to mobilize and demand justice, and had George Zimmerman arrested, basically, because of the pressure. That rise is coming up in our community.
Cheryl, I don't even know these kids. It's just sadly, another statistic, another story in Philadelphia, despite how movingly you talked about your son. So, what is it that we do to raise that these are just not statistics? The film helps to do that, I think. But there's got to be more.
Yeah, it has to be more. We have to have more parents involved, especially men involved, and even the clergy leaders. More of these community leaders and men and families as a whole have to be involved. It's not going to just happen by just the moms fussing or the dads fussing. We have to all come together. And also, we believe with our foundation that we started for our son is that if we can unite as one, despite our religious differences and backgrounds, we can get more accomplished. We've been separated for so long because we always have these differences of we can't get along, or we can't speak, or we can't do this because of our backgrounds.
I mean, I'll give you a broader thing. In Philadelphia now we have the superintendent. I think these 37 schools ought to close that they're talking about, the numbers whittled down. But here's a big concern. They said if you close some of these, you're going to have kids that might kill each other because they're coming from different schools. And let's think how irrational this is. We're going to keep a school open that is understaffed, doesn't need to be open because we're afraid of these boundaries and the other things that go into it.
And that's where personal responsibility comes in, and parenting, and really good parenting. We have to require more. My grandmother used to say the reason why crazy people don't put their hands on a hot oven is because they know better that it's hot. when you require more from people, you know, personally, and especially with these schools, then people do more. But if you allow more, people won't. And not only, we need other communities to come in because we cannot do it alone. It's not just a black problem, it's an American problem. And this is a war. And in war, when we lose someone over in Iraq, we won't say, oh, that was a black soldier that died. We said that was an American soldier that died. So we need more communities. We didn't win the civil rights movement alone, and we're not gonna win this movement alone that disproportionately affects African Americans.
Just for our viewers, where are you located? So you don't have to give the exact address. Are you in North Philly or
in West Philadelphia?
West Philadelphia.
Yes.
And West Philadelphia over the years was pretty good in comparison to some areas of North Philadelphia. But I'd say in the last 5 or 10 years, the statistics have started to even out. Is there any reason that you could see why that would be the case, that we would see this sort of uptick?
I just think that mostly it's because there are a lot of single parent homes or there are a lot of no parent homes where the children are raising themselves or the grandparents or it's someone down the street. And I think that's a major issue.
And your foundation, what do you do with your foundation?
The Jarrell Christopher Say Love and Laughter Foundation is a nonprofit organization we started in honor of our son Jarrell. And through that foundation, we are helping to offer educational opportunities to inner city children as well as job creation and recreational experiences.
All right, coming up, we'll talk more with Cheryl Say about that, and we'll talk about Mothers of No Tomorrow with Six King and the broader problem around all this violence and the word chaos. Imagine Easter Sunday having this happen to you as you're clearing off Easter Sunday dishes. That's straight ahead on Dom Time.